One man, one Murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now.
In the mountains.
Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please here on WoW Radio and myself, Total Biscuit. The date today is the 17th of July, 2009. It is 8 p.m. British Summer Time. It is 3 p.m. EST. In other times, it is other places, and I will welcome one and all to the show about WoW. And that's what it is. That's what it always will be, and nothing more, nothing less. What have I got coming up for you in the show today? Wonderment. Bedazzling wonderment. What can I say? I'll be telling you what you should already know, what you've heard from me many times before, but never ceases to amaze me, stun me, and make me want to kill everybody. Quite literally. Throw them down a well, in fact. It would have to be a bloody big well. But, you know, I could find one. Dig it myself, in fact. If I could, throw them all down there. It's how stupid people are. Oh yeah, we're talking about that a little bit later on. Plus, passive and active talents. Something that Ghostcrawler has said recently on the forums. And we know what happens when Ghostcrawler speaks. I dissect it. Yes. I imagine when I finally meet him, he's probably going to punch me in the face. Or throat. Or both. We'll see. I've heard he's only like 4'2", so it might be the kneecap. They actually modelled gnomes directly after Ghostcrawler. That's what most people do not know. So yeah, passive and active talents. Why making choices is bad, and Blizzard doesn't want to have anyone make them. Particularly if they have to make a choice that sacrifices DPS. OMG. We're talking about the talents in general and how they've evolved since Vanilla, all the way up to Wrath, and whether or not Blizzard's doing a good job with them. Also, the Brouhaha are over tier 9 looks. And we ask the question, do looks really matter? And how much do they matter? And we have a look at the design in general. Over the ages, back through time, of the tiered sets. Perhaps the most, well, I wouldn't say well-designed, but certainly what had the most time spent on it. Having a look at that. Also, your chance to contribute to the show. Yes, indeed, it's the illusion of choice. Might not want to go anywhere until I sweep that up. The Illusion of Choice gives you the chance to submit the last topic for the show. You email themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. You can submit your topic for the last 15 minutes. If it's good, I will read it and discuss it. If it's not, I will cast it off into the fires of Mount Doom, if necessary. Or more likely just ignore it, because Mount Doom's way too much effort. I'd like to give a special welcome to our new listeners today. There are plenty of you, by the looks of it. If you wish to join the community in the IRC channel, you can do so. They won't bite. Hard. Go to our website, wcradio.com. Click the chat button at the top of the screen. It'll get you straight in there. That's the Java client. Alternatively, if you have an IRC client, it's irc.mmo, irc.com. # or pound WoW Radio to get yourself in there. Go join the fun. That's what the live show is all about. You will see. You will see. I'll be talking a little bit about our new listeners a little bit later on in the show. Recalling an amusing event that happened earlier this weekend. My God, was it hilarious. Oh. I would go as far as to say that it was... Epic! It was, it really was. Absolutely stellar, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. I'm going to keep that back for a little bit. Now, before I do the mailbag, I'll give you an update on what's going on at the moment. A lot of people have been asking me via email, Twitter, posting in the forums, when's your board game coming out? When's your board game coming out? And those who don't know, I'm coming up with this board game idea, and it's coming along very nicely, and the idea is to produce this game based around raiding back in vanilla. So you get to pick a class, you get to go raid stuff solo, I might add. You get to get cool gear, you get to run across all manner of different evil monsters, do PvP, and then go all the way through and kill Kel'Thuzad at the end. It's coming along very nicely, actually. And after the show, I'm going to post links to the latest and updated rule set. Bear in mind, this is not complete yet. It's pretty close, but it's not complete. As well as the loot list, all 579 items of it. Oh yes, 579 items. That's how many there's gonna be in this game. Pretty much everything you could possibly imagine, and more so besides. As well as a bunch of encounters and things that can happen to you. Yes, indeed. Including, and Exodus should know about this, exploiting a raid boss. Oh yes, that is an event in the game. You can exploit a raid boss. But if you do it, expect to miss a few goes. And of course lose your reputation across the entire world. But, you know, never mind. I'm sure they're absolutely fine and cool with it. Very classy. Speaking of classy, I might add, I've got to congratulate Paragon, who also managed to take down Yogg-Saron, oh yes, Yogg-Saron plus 0, and Premonition, who have managed to get the US first of Yogg-Saron plus 0. Some interesting stuff. So well done to all of those guilds, and anyone else that manages it. Very impressive indeed. Now, without further ado, let's get on with it. It's time for this.
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, indeed, it's mail time, folks. It's where we troll you. Quite literally. I've actually had a look at the demographic survey, and the most hated thing about this entire show is the mail time dropping. Now, I suppose I should take that as a compliment if that's the best thing you can come up with. Seriously, you hate the mail time dropping, which is why I'm going to play it. Heck, I could play it again. No, you wouldn't like that, would you? I've actually got a new drop-in for this show, but I'm not going to unveil that until a little bit later on. Oh, yes. And no spamming of In the Mountains. We've perpetuated the force mean quite enough for the time being. Okay, let's have a look at the mailbag and see what we have. Go on here from Joseph Brewer, also known as Eva Yigo. It's a level 80 wrestler druid on Fizzcrank. He says this: just an update from last week on the Raiding Guild with the epic fails. Well, a lot of us listened to the show, including the GM. Well, a few hours after the show, Chaotic is no more. We all went our separate ways into the mountains. I've been in this new guild for a few days and one-shotting all the bosses up to Oriah, so there is hope there. Good luck to you all, and stop spamming when the patch is coming out. R.I.P. Chaotic, and long live Aeolithic. Yes, Blue Please the Guild Killer. Including the guild Blue Please, I might add. The guild Blue Police, which was formed at the start of TBC, just a 10-man guild, just to do Karazhan and then maybe go on from there. That died as well. In fact, pretty much every guild I've been in has died one way or the other. It's kind of depressing. I don't know. It's obviously all their fault. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not ridiculously destructive when it comes to guilds. Yeah. Some crazy stuff. Now I get to be an Agony Ant. I like this. It's from Okaras on the EU server Storm Rage. He says this: hey Total Biscuit, I'm going to start raiding soon. I thought I would ask you as to which instance is good for a first time raider. After listening to your show last week about Nax and other raids and that the new raider is potentially screwed, I didn't want to start raiding until I had a real opinion. Also, you said a lot of Death Knights being around and that they're not really needed. However, I seem to have a stroke of luck and have found several guilds that are desperate for Death Knights. Thank you for your help. That's from Akaris EU server Storm Rage. Yeah. It's a problem right now because if you want to start raiding at the moment, as in not in 3.2, you're going to run into a situation where you've got to pug it, because most places, most reasonable guilds that are at least halfway through Ulduar have probably got everything they could possibly get from Nax, so they're not running it. Which means you got to pug it. Now, pugging 25 will, of course, get you 4 epics per drop. So, you're getting like 50 plus epics. So you got a good chance of getting the stuff you need. Go and do VOA as well, as much as I despise that place. Easy way to get some easy gear. Emelon and Archivon, both good. To be honest, if you gear yourself up in 7.5 level gear, which is really not that hard if you can go and pug it, and yes, you've got to grin and bear it, there's probably going to be a bunch of retards, just grin and bear it, get your 7.5, get the gear there, and you should be okay. Bear in mind, of course, there's a plate where you're not going to have to roll against all that many classes. I say all that many classes, it's not that bad. So, give it a shot, you should be alright with that. There's nothing else to say about it, that's just the way that it's structured at the moment. In 3.2, of course, you can go and do heroics, and then go and get a set of 8.5 and tier 9 equivalent gear, and then go and apply with that. But it depends how long you want to wait. As to when that patch is coming out, I'm going to put a prediction. I'm going to put a prediction on right now. 4 weeks from today. I reckon 4 weeks from today, that's my prediction. with the current state of the PTR and the way that things are going along, I'm going to say a month. And then you'll have 3.2. And then if you want, you can go do all that stuff. But to be honest, you could have yourself a full set of 7.5 plus extra gear and maybe some 8.5 as well before that patch even hits very easily. So, just go and pug it. Avoid the 10-mans if you can, because to be honest, there is no reason to go on a 10-man Nax. Not a single reason at all. There's no good gear available. It's actually in some places harder than 25. Yes, I kid you not. So yeah, go check that out. Right, I've also got another interesting email that came in here. It's from... Wow, that is a crazy name you have there. I'm not going to try and pronounce his real name. It's got more accents and umlauts than I've ever seen. But his name is Zaphid. That's his pseudonym. And he says this: Hi, today I ran across this blog post by one of the members of Insidia, which could be read as a reaction to all the rumours and accusations they're facing. And that's going to get posted in the IRC channel, so if you're not already in there, you better get there and go and have a little look at it, or go on Insidia's website and read this blog post. It's quite an interesting read, although most of it is obvious to anyone with more than 3 brain cells. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Insidia need to stop talking about this, because it's the same thing as... I hate to bring politics into it, I really do. I tend to avoid it whenever possible, but it's a discussion that's been going on the SA forums lately. It's the same people that claim that Obama's birth certificate is fake, for instance. It's like, why doesn't he show evidence? Why didn't he show evidence? Because he doesn't need to. The burden of proof is on the accuser. That's how it works. The more you give to these people, the more ammo you give to them. They're not willing to listen to reason. And it's the same as people that spam on MMO Champion or wherever that, oh my god, Insidia retreats. They've believed this forever, and they're not going to they're just not going to stop believing. They want to believe it. It makes them feel better. So if you think that they're going to believe that Insidia are a completely honest guild, no matter what I or anyone else says, just because they say so, and it's on their blog, then it's like, why do you say things like this? I mean, seriously, like, yeah, we don't get paid. Yeah, but if you did get paid, you wouldn't go around telling everybody, would you? That's the problem. That's what people think. They will explain it away. Then these people aren't really familiar with the term Occam's razor. They will come up with these crazy conspiracies. They will come up with all this crazy stuff. Now, I also must take issue with part of the blog that specifically says, then there's the whole Yogg plus 0 issue. And he says this: for whatever reason, people still believe that we have stated that the encounter is mathematically impossible. We never said such a thing, nor has Elitist Jerks. There is no links to anyone saying anything of the kind, and it's just a rumour that has spread like fire. Even WoW Radio picked up on this fact. Right, well, the reason it's spread like wildfire is because it was also part of your post about Exodus. And yes, it has been posted on Elitist Jerks. That's where the bloody rumour came from in the first place. Now, whether or not Insidia specifically said it on Elitist Jerks, I don't know. I don't have a clue. And I never really said that they did. All I'm saying is the Uber guilds in general, the theory crafters, people on Elitist Jerks said that. And there was mention on Insidia's website, quite specifically, about the Exodus ban that said that. Quote, main argument would be that killing Yogg 0 is mathematically impossible according to sites such as Elitist Jerks. Yeah? Simple as that. Now, whether or not Insidia said this, I have no idea. It's possible that an Insidia member may have got involved in a discussion like that, but I'll be honest, I skim Elitist Jerks, I found that post, I didn't see who posted it, nor do I care. Because, to be honest, the vast majority of people on Elitist Jerks know their stuff. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that Elitist Jerks was set up by some guys from Something Awful. They have the same strict moderation. They have the same high quality of posting. They've got good quality control there. Now, I don't post there, because, it's not my place, not my thing. They theorycraft too much for my liking. But generally speaking, what they say is usually pretty accurate. And yes, I did see that on there. So maybe Insidia said that, maybe they didn't. But people said it, and that's the whole point. And people that should have known better. But yeah, stop perpetuating it. I mean, this is going out to anyone in Insidia, and I know you're listening. Don't perpetuate this rubbish. Nobody should. There's no point. These people won't listen to reason. And we'll be talking about how stupid people can be in their community after this break. But no, they will never listen to reason. They don't care. They don't care about reason. They just want to believe what they want to believe, and they won't be told otherwise, because it makes them feel better, And that's all that matters to them. That's it. End of discussion. Don't give them any more ammunition. My name is Total Biscuit, and you're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I'll be right back after this, telling you about how everybody is stupid and how it's ruining the game for you. Yes, indeed. What you can do to perhaps prevent it. Now, I played some of this in the pre-show. They're playing at Bloodstock, where the WoW Radio crew is going down for 3 days of metal and mead and meat. Oh, yes. They're a band called Equilibrium, and this track is called Verzelbert. I'll be right back after this. Enjoy.